So I'm reviewing this video here, and so this is playing weird. I should refresh this. I'm at 12:18, but this is Cruz Soto right here. This is Hunter Velasquez, and then I want to say this is Victor Hummel. We're looking through Keith Schultz video right now. Brandon Howerton, I don't know if he's still in the driver's seat of the car. This could be Brandon Howerton too. There was 5 police officers, and what this incident had started from was when Joe Canty had threatened my life. I'm in the backyard walking with my dogs peacefully. He drives by with a big truck and he jerks the steering wheel towards me. Now you may ask, well, why would he do something like that? Well, he did that because I told him to get the hell out of here. He was driving so damn slow that it felt like he was messing with me. My dogs started walking towards him. So, you know, I'm 600 feet away from the road. You're not allowed to walk your dogs in Costilla County. But they have it in their mind that they're going to arrest me. They're going to arrest me based on what Joe Canty had said. They have no evidence whatsoever backing any of what Joe Canty had said up. They have no evidence whatsoever. Joe Canty had said that I was running in the front yard, chasing after him, shooting a gun after him, which is ridiculous for so many reasons. The video that Joe Canty has is me driving my truck from Robert Pickerell's house up to back to my house, and then I parked right there in front of my property because Joe Canty had passed by twice. And I utilized the Second Amendment and Article 2, Section 13 of Colorado's Constitution. So what I was doing was completely lawful. You have a right to bear arms. You have a right to own and bear arms. And Heller and McDonald says you have a right to own and bear arms for confrontation, for self-defense. I fired 3 warning shots from behind my house. I was not, you can't even see where I was at because I was over here in the back of the corner behind my house. And so for Joe Canty to say that I was in the front yard, the guy is a liar. The guy is a liar. He is a lying piece of shit liar. I was in the back end of my house, on the back corner. And I fired 3 warning shots straight up into the air. And then that was it. I go inside. I see what he's doing. He's delivering to Robert Pickerell. Then I drive around the block. I park in front of my house. And then that was it. Joe Canty delivers his goods, which was some roofing material, and then he leaves. But when he parked at Robert Pickerell's house, that's when I knew that there was definitely something afoot. Robert Pickerell is a criminal, and he committed crime after crime. He broke Colorado law after Colorado law. And none of these people did a damn thing about it. Cruz Soto, I went to him. He saw me 2 times before this incident. Cruz Soto saw me 2 times before this incident. One time, I go to the courthouse, and I had a 5-page documented, I documented 5 pages of what had happened as specifically as I could remember. And then I even pointed to the corresponding laws, and I asked him to look after it because Noble Havens came to the scene. Noble Havens saw the swerve marks on the Delaware Trail, so he saw how the truck had swerved over to hit the dog. And then Noble Havens goes over to Troy Zinn's place, and he said he found the truck, he found the person, and he talked to the person, and then that they had said, well, the dog was in the middle of the road. The guy did it on purpose. And this isn't the first time that people had dogs that were ran over. You also had, I forget their names. There was an Old Man Ed who lives in the back over here somewhere. And then you had this couple, Justin and Courtney. Justin and Courtney had their dog ran over and killed. So the Old Man Ed who lives back behind me over here, who always gets water from the river, which technically isn't allowed either, he had said that a truck had pulled up to his house. When the dog came out, the dog was still in the yard, and the guy had shot his dog. Straight up just murdered his dog in his own yard. So they're trying to say something, well, the dog was in the road. It was on the side of the road. The guy in the truck had swerved over, but he roared, right? He's sitting there with a big loud engine, run, and just big loud engine, goes down the road, pulls into Jacqueline Mitchell's house, which is where Phil Greeny also lives, and then came back. 2 white males. And they didn't do any investigation of any of this whatsoever. Okay, so let's just go ahead and refresh this. And while we're refreshing this, let's take a look at some of the crimes that I had to, endure. Let's see. There was this here where you have a guy that's holding the gun. Look, here's a guy, he just came from Robert Pickerell's house, and I'm sitting on top of my, on the 2nd floor of my half house, and we didn't see the gun. Let's see him pull the gun out. So the guy's driving away, and as he's driving away, he just parks in the middle of the road. He just parks in the middle of the road, and he pulls a gun out, and he's sitting here showing it to me. Hey, look at this. I got myself a gun. Hey, look at this. And so what would be the point of, driving like that and showing the gun? Well, the point would be to cause fear. That's literally felony menacing. And so it's ridiculous that even when, and then the guy's going to back up. He's going to back up about a quarter mile because he was like way, he was like in the corner there, but now he's completely adjacent to where I'm at. So this is, I would say is the smoking gun. Here's another smoking gun. This guy right here is driving in the sagebrushes. Why is this guy driving in the sagebrushes? This is another felony crime. So they're not just, being good neighbors or not saying hi to me or anything like that. This person is driving on the sagebrushes. So this is specifically to drive around my house. There's 2 white males there. You see the make and the model of the truck, white truck, right? 4-door, and I can't tell if it's a F-250 or what specific make and model it is. But here, what is this person doing? Is he coming to murder me? Are they coming to entice my dogs? If my dogs were running around, they would definitely think that this is a threat because this is a threat. What the hell is this guy doing? There's Jacqueline Mitchell's house, and this is where Phil Greeny would live too. So Phil Greeny and Jacqueline Mitchell, they committed a whole bunch of crimes against me. It's absolutely ridiculous. In the name of equal protection, I didn't get equal protection. In the name of fairness, in the name of justice, we're not establishing justice here. So in the name of equal protection, Joe Canty said some words, and that got 5 police officers to come out to my house and to arrest me because of what he had said. Now, if I'm running after him, let's just use some physics, let's just use some common sense, because there's not enough evidence to convict anybody of the crimes. I mean, people might look at these videos and say, well, maybe they were doing this and maybe they were doing that, and saying a whole bunch of stuff. Joe Canty just has a vehicle of him driving, of me driving down the driveway and coming back up. Where's the shooting of the gun? So I'm just chasing him. There's so many things, but he says that I'm chasing him on the front yard. I'm in the front yard chasing him, shooting at him. Well, it's a shotgun, so if I'm, it's only a couple 100 feet away. So you're telling me that I'm shooting a shotgun with bird spread at a large industrial truck, and there was no evidence whatsoever of any bullets that was inside the large industrial truck. If you're trying to tell me that it's absolutely impossible, right there, right? So this isn't the large industrial truck, but you're trying to tell me that I'm running in the front yard. I'm running in the front yard towards him, run. So what's that take? That's not going to take but 5 seconds, right? So I'm running after him while he's driving by like this, real super slow, revving his engine. Well, he had that loud engine. He jerked his steering wheel. So he jerked his steering wheel. What is that saying? What is that communicating? That's saying, hey, you want me to get the hell out of your neighborhood? Well, I'm going to stay right here and I'm going to jerk my steering wheel. Maybe I'll run you over. So that's a threat. That's a threat. And shooting warning shots was commiserate to the threat. Joe Biden, this is, the Democrats. Joe Biden said that if there was some problems for Jill Biden to go ahead and shoot the shotgun several times, shoot the shotgun straight up in the air. So you're telling me that the Democrats, which is supposed to be liberal, but they're actually conservative, but they are for the Second Amendment, but nobody around here is for the Second Amendment? How come nobody in Costilla County is okay with the Second Amendment being used for self-defense? But what I was trying to say before, I'm running in the front yard. This is what Joe Canty had said. Joe Canty claimed I'm running in the front yard with a shotgun and I'm shooting at him. Well, this is just a regular truck. His truck was way bigger. If I'm shooting at him with birdshot, which is a bullet that spreads, you're telling me that I didn't hit anything? I didn't hit any part of the vehicle whatsoever? There was no bullet fragments. There's another video that the Victor Hummel went and looked all around the truck to see if there's any bullet fragments. And then he delivers the goods. So let's presume, okay, he's scared out of his mind. He doesn't know what's going on. He's just scared out of his mind. Why do you deliver the goods? None of this makes any sense. Joe Canty also had said that when he drove by my house, he didn't see a 6-foot-tall man with 5 dogs. So he's lost. He can't find the place. He drives by my house. Look how sparsely populated it is. So he drives by my house, and he just looks, to the right? He looks to the left. He looks to the frontwards. He saw the house, but he didn't see a 6-foot-tall man and 5 dogs on the side of the house. Bullshit. He was looking right the fuck at me. He was looking right at me, driving slow as hell. When my dog started veering towards him, I tell him to get the hell out of here in very certain terms. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. I'm pointing to the mountains to the east, to the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. Get the hell out of here. He's laughing. He's having a good old time. It almost seems like he slows down. And then he jerks his steering wheel to say, fuck you. I'm not going to just leave. Fuck you. He threatened me. He absolutely threatened me. But the truth doesn't matter. They don't care about the truth. They don't care that I was a victim of several crimes. They don't give a damn that this wasn't equal protection. If words from Joe Canty can initiate an arrest, then how come words from me doesn't initiate an arrest? This was an interesting day. This only had the picture of the dump truck, but this is from the biodiesel plant. So the people at the biodiesel plant are a part of this. Phil Greeny used to work for the biodiesel plant. I left for just a moment, and when I came back, there was 5 trucks that was around my house. I had a witness that was sitting at the house, and she had said, they must think you got a gold mine here. They must think you got a gold mine here, because what they were going to do when you went to the San Luis, they were going to clean you the hell out. They were going to clean you out. And that was Preacher Pete. Yeah, thanks a lot, Pete. I did him a favor, right? You treat your neighbor like yourself because you want other people to treat you kind. That doesn't seem to work. Being nice to others, thinking that they will be nice to you back, that doesn't seem to work. And, it's unfortunate that it doesn't. Here's another, I would say a felony crime. How much is the bathtub? I don't know, but they did some breaking and entering. This is in Conejos County. And then by this point, this was after the trial had happened. And so at this point, I talked to a friend and I said, I don't know what to do. You know, if I call the police, they'll drive up here and they have to drive through the mountains. They'll be all pissy and mad, and then they might start harassing me. I've had the issues in Costilla County. What should I do? He says, just don't worry about it. Well, the great spirit of ultimate goodness says that this is a crime. And why did this crime happen right next to where I was living in Conejos County? Because I was being stalked. I was being stalked by either the Nazis, the right-wing sovereigns that are out there, and then there's also some talk of some Crips. I just read an article that says that there's a lot of people in this area that are afraid of the deportation that's going on. People don't even want to go to the grocery store. They don't want to go, send their kids to the school. They don't want to go to church. They don't want to go out anymore. Well, that could be, point to some Crips crap, right? That could point to some illegal immigration crap. But the right-wing sovereigns are very much a part of it, very much known. They have lots of articles that were written about them. And so there's the Costilla County has a problem with the right-wing sovereigns. But here I am documenting the evidence. They were smoking these Marlboro 100s, and then they had all these little pistachio nuts. And then here's a guy that was stealing a truck. This is oh man, I forget the guy's name. I don't think it was Danny. It might have been Danny. Danny Sanchez would be the sheriff. But here's a guy, this house just burnt down, and this guy here is just picking this car up, I guess, for some scrap metal. Who the hell is this guy? How come nobody is being none the wiser? Nobody is being none the wiser. Okay? And so here's, the evidence that they have against me. Oh, look, there's Jonathan in his truck. What's Jonathan in his truck doing? And then that's all you saw was, if you saw anything, is just me. I drive back because I'm wondering what the hell this guy is doing to me. Robert Pickerell's committed crime after crime after crime against me. And frankly, I'm just sick of just staying inside the house waiting for these people to do whatever the hell that they're going to do. So, I don't know if we play this. You might see the truck go forward. But the truck goes forward, and then I just park at the house. So, if the guy is saying that I'm just chasing after him, shooting him, how come I'm not chasing after him, shooting him right here? Where's the gunshots? Where's the gunshots? Where's the shooting? No gunshots are happening. No shootings are happening. And then I park in front of my property because I'm tired of this guy messing with me. This is a large industrial truck, and there's another video where you can hear the sounds to the thing. And then he's driving, let's see, right next to me. So the evidence that he has, the evidence, the police, they checked the vehicle, they walked around the vehicle, there was no bullet holes in the vehicle. The physics of what he says doesn't make sense. He's a liar. He had made a false report, 20 years ago on the stand. I asked him if he made a false report on the stand, and he said no. And then later on, when I pointed the evidence out, then he said, oh, yeah, I did. That was just some sort of youthful indiscretion. That's all it was. Just some youthful indiscretion. And then here's a bunch of arsons. My God, there were so many arsons. There was 5, 6, 7 arsons that I could see from, my house. I called 911. The fire department goes out to me. And then here's a weird, truck that was driving by when I was sitting here videotaping all this. Here's another, building that's destroyed. And so several buildings are destroyed. And then, here's just my puppies playing. So now let's go back to this here. And so where were we at? Like 7... And the guy keeps saying, Cruz Soto, he doesn't give a shit about anything I'm saying. He said he was going to investigate who murdered Tecumseh. He lied. He lied. He didn't do it. He had no intention of going to the damn trial and testifying either. So he had already made up in his mind that he was going to arrest me. You showed up with 5 guys with guns. Why did he do this? Because I called 911 too many times. I was a person he didn't know, so I'm a man that Cruz Soto didn't know, and he's going to arrest me because I called 911 a dozen or 2 times, and he's fucking sick of it. He's fucking sick and tired of me calling 911. So, me being the victim is why I'm getting goddamn arrested right now? That's such horse shit, it's not even funny. And then you saw Tim just kind of go up to the police officer there. You see my little dog right there. Yeah, big vicious dog. Big vicious mean dog. But I was worried that that with them messing around like that, that he might go, see what's going on, because dogs are instinctual, so they might, be protective or just curious and just want to socialize. And then when he's being curious, Tim could have got ran over by that one truck that was on the side of my house. Now maybe you might say, well, he just jerked his steering wheel. I mean, you were like several... You were like several hundred feet away. You're... And then Keith Schultz is sitting here listening to all this. When I called 911, Cruz Soto showed up twice. I only talked to him twice. Once about Tecumseh being murdered, and then there was a drive-by shooting. When the drive-by shooting was going on, this guy was driving over on this road over here, not where I'm at, but just like a little bit farther over. But he was driving up and down a similar trail, and then the road behind my house, because there's like 5-acre plots all over, so there's my 5 acres, and then there was 5 acres right behind there. There was a person that was just sitting right there. As soon as I go to the back of the house, he turns his bright lights on, his headlights on, and then the guy going up and down Seminole Trail is shooting at me. That's when Cruz Soto comes to my house. So Cruz Soto knows about 2 crimes that I called him for. A drive-by shooting, that nobody got arrested for the drive-by shooting. I told you that Robert Pickerel was a part of a drive-by shooting that had happened once. Sam Jepson, Phil Greeny's been committing, these little stop-and-goes over and over again. Hiram Richardson, there's 4 names right there. But for some reason, when I say crimes happen, there's not 5 men with fucking AK-47s arresting any of these bastards. I'm the only lawful person here. I'm the only one being in compliance with planning and zoning. If that doesn't prove that I'm a lawful person, then you guys are out of your goddamn minds, because that was not easy to do, to obey your fucking planning and zoning. That was not an easy thing to do, to obey planning and zoning. Yeah, give me some promising information. You ain't going to do shit. You ain't going to do shit because you're incompetent and you don't give a damn. This is deliberate indifference. You don't give a shit. You don't care if crimes are happening out here. This is a 45-minute drive. You got your family and your friends are closer to San Luis, and you don't give a shit about people out here. And he used to go around with planning and zoning and asking people for their permits out there. He used to ask for permits out here. I'm compliant with planning and zoning. I stayed in a damn RV park for a fucking year to be compliant with planning and zoning. I paid for the stupid permits. You have to pay for access, road access, just to drive onto your property. Did Robert Pickerel do any of this shit? He didn't do any of this shit. So you guys are on the side of criminals. They're on the side of criminals. This is such bullshit. It's not even funny. So 13:30. So let's see. Let's take a look at 1 minute. There's two like really interesting parts to this video. So right here in the very beginning, he's going to point this gun at me for about 48 seconds, 47 seconds. The gun's pointed at me right now. That's on 1 minute mark. So let's see how long it takes. He's out. What are you back in fucking Nam right now, you motherfucker? You guys are trying to come up onto my fucking property to get my fucking body or whatever, but I come up to the top of the roof to talk to them. And then, if I was, out of my damn mind, militarily, strategically, they had a back access they could have gone to. There's, it's a square. They could have came in 5 different ways. They all came right through my driveway. They didn't pay for road access. They didn't pay for building permits. How can they get road access? And then felony menacing is when you point a gun at somebody with the intent to cause fear. And this is what? He's just being protective? No, bullshit. Keith Schultz knew about me being a victim of a dozen or so crimes. And that son of a bitch didn't do a goddamn thing. He put a thumb up his ass and said, I don't give a damn about anything that happens out here because I'm a fucking incompetent, low-life piece of shit. I mean, he's the low man on the totem pole. So if you're going to call the police for anything, don't call Keith Schultz, because he won't make the arrest. If Cruz Soto believes that something had happened, then maybe something will happen. But it definitely won't happen if it's Keith Schultz. And then, oh man, he might shoot me. He might kill me. Is John Masters about to die right now? Because he's pointing the gun right at me. He's videotaping himself doing it too. And we're all okay with this, right? If you put on a uniform and a hat, you could go around pointing guns at people, but you're not allowed to shoot a couple warning shots. This is way worse than what I had done. Shooting a couple warning shots from 300 feet away from behind a building straight up into the air. Yeah, I know a gun can work. But he's pointing right at me. And hell, if you ever been held at gunpoint, you got to make sure you don't make any sudden movements. What if he would have thought my arm was a gun? What if I had my wallet in my hand? Does he think that's a gun too? Okay, so that was 48 seconds. 48 seconds of me possibly getting shot and murdered. Then there was this other scene here at 10:30. Okay, so while he's sitting there talking to me, these two other police officers, they're going to walk around to see if they can arrest me from the back. That's what they want to do. While I'm sitting there trying to talk to Cruz Soto, right, just to explain what happened. They didn't give a shit about what happened. They didn't care about the explanation. They're going to walk in the back to try to grab me from behind. Watch this. He says he's going to see if they can find a way up the back, right? And let's see who this was. Is that Victor Hummel or is that Brandon Howerton? Okay, that's Brandon Howerton. So listen to what Hunter Velasquez says. We're going to see if we can find a way up the back. They're there to make an arrest. They didn't care about what I had to say. If there's a dispute between two people and you didn't see it, then you don't know what happened. If there's a dispute between two people and then you have the presumption of innocence and you don't have evidence one way or another and you don't have a witness to say one way or another, there's no way to tell precisely. If you're the third party that just came up onto the scene, there's no videotapes of the crime happening. There's no bullet fragments on the side of the damn thing. David Delata got shot and murdered. David Delata shot and murdered a guy, and they didn't even take that to trial. So apparently if you kill the other guy, then there's no witness for trial. They can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. Then you get to walk free. So my mistake was enforcing the Second Amendment. My mistake was shooting a couple warning shots, which caused no injury, which is what he testified to. He said it was my attitude. He called 911 because it was my attitude. That's what really pissed him off after the warning shots were fired. He didn't like my attitude. Okay, well, attitude isn't a crime. Which statute is that? But if you want to say attitude is a crime, well, these cops have attitudes, the fucking judge had attitude, and then not only did they, but the two jurors, there's two jurors that had attitude. So you want to talk about fucking fighting words when it comes to Chaplinsky decision? Okay, I understand. Somebody talks to you real mean and nasty, then they intend to do you harm. So those are the two, interesting things that I had seen from before. And then the judge also said I couldn't show the 5 videotapes of any of this stuff, so we can't actually sort through what their behavior was. These people are so corrupt, it's not even fucking funny. David Delata shot and murdered a man, and he gets to walk scot-free. I fired a couple warning shots which injured nobody, and this Colorado fucking nightmare does not end. So that was Chuma that was standing right there. And then eventually Cruz Soto says, based on the accusation, we're going to have to take you into custody. Okay, but Robert Pickerel fucking doing drive-by shootings, he doesn't go into fucking custody, does he? Fucking bullshit. This is a fucking hypocritical fucking piece of shit. I called 911 too many times and he was sick and tired of it. That's why he's going to make a decision to arrest me. He already thought he was going to arrest me. That's why they came up with heavily armed based on the accusations. Fucking prick. Motherfucker. So you don't ever, I mean, they say don't talk to the police. It just sucks. You would like to think that the truth would set you free. Jesus says, "You shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free." But apparently these ain't Christians around here. These motherfuckers protect the fucking criminals. I did so much. I read so much law in Colorado. And the fact that these motherfuckers are just going to fuck me over and they're not going to care about the truth. They don't care that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And so, what they're allowing Sam Jepson to continue to shoot at people. They're allowing Robert Pickerel to continue to shoot at people. They're allowing Hiram Richardson to continue to harass people. They're allowing people to commit crimes in Costilla County. I injured nobody. I hurt nobody. This is horse shit. This is horse shit. So I'm explaining about when Tecumseh was murdered. How the guy did everything that he could. He even drove into my driveway. So he didn't just drive stupid in front of my house. He drove into my driveway. He drove into my driveway. Man, I'm supposed to fucking live through this shit? And the person wanted to murder my dog. So he enticed my dog. He got the dog to come out, to the road. Right on the side of the road. There's swerve marks. This is such bullshit. And then I did say something about bail, and he didn't mention. He said that it was going to be like 3,000. It turned out to be 5,000. And look, they're all in position, like it's this goddamn Vietnam or some shit.
Hey, where were you when you went back in? Just being different place.
So that was Victor Hummel right there.
How about you? Come on, let's go back in. Come on, come on. Come on, get in. Come on, come on. How much? That's right. Is Lucy around? Okay, yeah, they're arresting me. Who cares? So I talked to my mom. I'm going to get my dog in. I'm going to feed my dog. Get the money. And walk with you. Okay? Probably take a little drink of water. Is that okay with everybody? I'm a peaceful guy. I'm a peaceful guy. Huh? I just locked that little door. I don't know if that's how we just go in there or what. Where's the rifle? Jonathan. Come in here. Huh? My shotgun's put away. Let's put it away.
And then right now, all these walls that I had put up, I mean, each one of these damn OSB boards are like $50 now. All these walls are, have fallen down, and then it's probably been raining, and then who knows what people have done. Who knows if people have tore this up and then rummaged through it and took whatever they want to take. So, because they made this arrest, this Colorado nightmare never fucking ends. They destroyed my fucking house. I wanted a safe house so I could get a career and raise, a family. But they stopped that. They don't want you to raise a garden. They don't want good, peaceful, honest, lawful people around here. That's what they don't want that. What, you read the law and you looked at the freedom since the cops and the courts didn't do shit? I read what my civil liberties were in Colorado and America, and I said, well, what are my options here? Well, I could speak, I could use religion, I could peacefully assemble. I got the Second Amendment, Third Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth, Sixth Amendment. Then there's, all the Bill of Rights for Colorado as well.
I'm going to get the, what did I say? Dog food and money.
A drink of water. The reason why I built that thing around the RV, because you're not allowed to park an RV. You have to have an RV permit. So I parked the RV inside the house so that way I wouldn't have to do an RV permit. Man, this is such horse shit. I did so much to comply with these stupid-ass bastards' laws, and they don't care about good intentions. They don't care about my lawful, personality, and that I was moral, and that I care about the golden rule and treat others the way I want to be treated. None of that fucking mattered. God, none of that fucking mattered. People want to see whatever the hell they want to see. How do you prove that you're good to somebody? There's always some disagreeable asshole that's like, well, I don't care. You never gave me nothing. Okay, well, I've never hurt you, so. So then they're talking about something, I don't know. Keith Schultz is just standing right out here. Still got his AK-47 or AR-15 in his hands. He don't care that I was a victim of, 39 shots. 7 to 8 assassination attempts. Forget what they just said right here. Let's take a listen.
Just one. What's more?
Just one.
What's one? Seriously, one more.
This on mine. This on. I don't really care.
Yeah, if you get a firefight there, you're a little more ammo.
Okay. If I get a firefight.
I'm gonna start bringing my bag full. Yeah.
I can't tell what they just said right there. That was Schultz and Victor Hummel saying something about ammo and a firefight. If you get into a firefight, he also said it wasn't mine. So I don't know if they're like talking about taking my bullets or something. I'm not for sure what that conversation was between Keith Schultz and Victor Hummel. I'm not sure what that conversation was about. And I don't know if they'll continue to talk, but I just heard a couple things. A firefight, ammo. Keith Schultz says it wasn't mine.
You ever seen the 18? Something's up at this fight in there.
So a lot of dead air here, but I never actually looked at these videos and reviewed them. You know, I'm living off grid, so I only had so much electricity. And I got responsibilities when it comes to walking and feeding my dogs, and then I was reading all these Colorado laws on top of it. And I presumed that they were going to allow me to actually have a defense, but Gonzalez, he didn't give a shit if I actually had a defense. They wouldn't allow the videos of the crimes that were against me. They didn't care if any of the witnesses came in. There's, 4 eyewitnesses of this whole situation. So there's another verbal exchange there. I don't know what they were saying. What kind of gun is that there? Huh?
Please protect my place. Oh. Yeah. I got.
Did you say you have to jump it or something?
Yeah, I'll just lock it and then jump right over it.
See, cops don't give a shit about how, this shit will ruin your life. They don't give a shit if this will make your life better or worse. They don't care about the truth at all. And so what... So that was the state patrol or the dispatch was sitting there saying something about, well, Joe Canty, this fucking lying piece of shit, well, he says that John Masters has got some issues. Oh, okay, he's not a psychologist, and he's the one that fucking threatened me. He's the one that fucking threatened me. You know what's weird? If I went to your house and I threatened you, and then you said, get the hell out of here, and I'm like, man, what? He's real crazy. Okay, you know how you don't get a reaction like that? Don't go around threatening people. Don't drive to their house and act like you're going to run over their dogs. Fucking stupid. I'm wondering who that was. That dispatch was, too. Because I called 911 several times, and so are they just laughing at me? Or are they just saying that I'm just making up stuff? Like, I'm just curious about who that dispatch was. Is that Colorado State Patrol? Who was that guy? Who was that guy that was on that radio there?
Excuse me.
Started.
Only a little.
Can we take it real quick? No, this is the only time I got it. Do y'all have other guns? Can we take a picture of it? Yeah, we'll take this. Well, that's somebody go with you. Yeah, it's right here. Where's the back?
They wear sunglasses so they can dehumanize other people. I called both of these assholes. Victor Hummel and Schultz was out here by my property not a week prior because there was somebody that was parked at the, they say the lesbian's house, but there's a brick house that's out there, and the Melissa Shimkovitz. So there was a person that was at Melissa Shimkovitz's house, and then there was like some sort of field party, and then when they were driving back and forth, that was farther back at Bluff Circle, they would sit there and make sure they, shine lights over at my fucking house. So, for anybody to pretend that this shit isn't going on, you're the fucking crazy motherfuckers. You're the crazy motherfuckers to pretend that shit wasn't happening out here. You're the crazy motherfuckers. And the fact that I'm, dedicated to the truth when Jordan Peterson, says that what's true isn't just, something you believe, but he says it's something that you'll stake your life on. It's something you'll stake your life on and you'll fight for and possibly even die for. But I guess if you're in a world of a bunch of criminals where everybody's just lying, that frame said that everybody who lied got away with it, and then the people who told the truth were the ones that went down. Because I guess if you're a shitty cop, you could just talk to the person who tells the truth and just, harass them for fucking 5 hours until eventually they say, well, you're a son of a bitch. Hey, don't you backtalk me. I give you a lawful order. You sit down right now. Well, he didn't sit down, so I arrested him. But if you're a criminal, well, you're not even going to talk to the police for any damn thing. And if you say anything, then they're all lies, right? So if you're an insecure fuck, a piece of shit, this motherfucker was just talking down to me. He didn't even he said that the other person who was harassing me had a right to privacy. Not if you're committing crimes and you're a police officer. So he was going to try to tell me that the guy who was harassing me has a right to privacy. Meanwhile, this guy's walking up in my house and has all these guns and what right to privacy? What are you talking about, right to privacy? If this guy would pull somebody over for speeding, but he's not going to pull somebody over for spotlighting people, and then were they breaking into Melissa Shimkovitz's house, that brick house? And there was a lot of people that was over there at that damn brick house. And then when I told her that I was complying with planning and zoning, she was like, really? So that, she's living on rocks. Colleen Romero made it seem like that if I was on rocks, that I couldn't have a septic tank out here. I bought the property, and she acted like I wasn't going to be allowed to live on the property because I couldn't put a septic tank on it. No way anybody that lives on the edge on those rocks would be able to comply with the septic tank, provision. No way. So again, we're allowing motherfuckers that are breaking the laws to get away with it, and then the person that was consistent with the law, that bound himself to the law, is getting screwed. And he's quit. This piece of shit's quit. But when he came out there, he was just asking a bunch of dumb questions, talking real stupid as shit. Schultz came out there, but he was like, let's wait for these two guys. There was also a woman cop that came out too. I don't know her name. I don't know who she was. And so, this piece of shit is sitting there, oh, he's got a right to privacy, For 30 minutes, they harassed me. They didn't even pull the other person over. They didn't even ask them what they were up to or what they were doing. Then eventually, I had a friend that was on the phone, and I was like, are you listening to all this? Because, by this time, I had called 911 several times, and hell, it might have been even after this arrest. And, no, it was actually a week beforehand. So I had called 911 several dozen, 24 times or so. And when he gets out there, I forget what point I was trying to make. And he's going to lie about that on the stand. He's a fucking liar. He perjured himself on the stand. It's like, do you remember going out to that residence, just a week prior? No, I don't remember that at all. Fucking weird fucking piece of shit. And he's quit. I wonder if he quit because, I'm suing him via 1983. But,
want me to get to you? You want it up and over?
So I wonder if Schultz has a nice, safe house that he can live in. I wonder if Schultz is allowed to just drive to the grocery store without being stalked. I wonder if Schultz is having people do drive-by shootings on him. I wonder if Schultz has this dog who's being murdered. And then after all that shit had happened to Schultz, does he call the police? And what if the police don't do shit? The police and the courts and the judge, Kim Woods, didn't do shit. Nobody did a goddamn thing. Kim Woods said ex parte. She didn't even really give a shit about what the accusation was about. She's like, well, the other party isn't here. Oh, okay, so I need to go make a citizen's arrest and pull them out there or some shit? Because a citizen can file a case against somebody else. You could file criminal charges through a citizen. Both the judge, prosecutor, the cops, they all could file, the clerk, they all could file charges. But Schultz just sit there at my fucking house, not like the hypocrite that he is, right? He's got no soul. He don't have a conscience. He's a low-life, hypocritical piece of shit. He'll let crimes happen to me and not do a damn thing about it. Now this part here, my shotgun was in the front part of the house right here. So they were talking about going inside and getting it or something. And then later on, he let the shotgun stay there.
Is that short, Brandon? Is that a short shotty?
And then you heard what he just asked. I think Victor Hummel's the one that's going to write the warrantless arrest affidavit up. And so Victor Hummel writes the warrantless affidavit up, but he was the one that's saying that, well, I saw him. And okay, I see you, motherfucker. You got an AK-47 in your fucking hands, Does that mean I get to arrest you? So now he's asking, was it a short shotgun? Because there's some guns that are specifically illegal. And if you have a shotgun, that's okay. But if you cut the barrel off and have a short shotgun, that's illegal. So he was asking if it was an illegal gun. Just a regular old fucking shotgun. These motherfuckers got AK-47s and they're like freaked out over a little shotgun. This is America. So if they're freaked out over just one little lawful guy that fired a few warning shots from his little pea shooter, these motherfuckers out here have a whole bunch of guns. The right-wing sovereigns dominate these guys. The right-wing sovereign Nazis, they got all the fucking guns. They're thicker than thieves. They don't talk to the police. They lie to the police. And if you're afraid over just a few warning shots, well, shit, they got, goddamn guns on top of guns on top of guns. So it's just easier to arrest the victim, right? If you just arrest the victim, then you don't ever have to do anything. Crime rate will be zero. We had nobody reported any damn crimes this year. Why was that? Well, we would arrest the victim. They would call 911 and we would arrest him. So our crime statistics is zero.
Yeah.
So yay, the heroes are here. The good guys are here. Yay! Oh, thank goodness the good guys are here. These motherfuckers are going to let so many bad people get away with their shit. And the problem with letting the bad people win, what happens with Scar wins? Scar was able to kill Mufasa, right? And then it was just a barren wasteland. You think you won because the evil won? Well, evil don't give a damn about anything. They don't care about civilization. They don't care about the ecosystem. They don't care about people getting the food and the water and the clothing that they need. They don't care about life itself. They're oppressor molesters. They're fucking ugly-ass pigs. All they care about is their power and they're precious. Hey, I'm the boss of you and you better shut up and do as I say. But I'm victim of a whole bunch of crimes. If you're truly crime fighters, well, hell, I got a nice long ass. I got a nice long list for you guys to do investigations and then go make some arrests. Go make those arrests. Come on, be the good guys that you pretend to fucking be. You ain't fucking good. You ain't fucking good at all. I still don't know what he just said. Something about just us.
This one. Tim. Oh, that's Mufasa.
Mufasa.
Come here, buddy. Come here.
R.I.P. Mufasa. I miss you, buddy. I miss my Chumba and my Mufasa, man. They fucked up my life so much, man. They fucked up my life so fucking much, man. It's fucking bullshit. It's like because they want to justify what they fucking did just now. They're not going to get the right witnesses. They're not going to fucking get the evidence. They're not going to do the truth. They're not going to fucking investigate this shit. Because they want to fucking make this arrest stick. They're going to fucking goddamn be like criminal motherfuckers. Oh, we don't know about any other thing that happened. We don't know of any 911 calls. We never been out there. We didn't see nothing. An hour later they show up. Motherfuckers. They fucked up my life, man. And they don't have a soul, so they don't give a shit. They don't feel bad about what they fucking did. They don't feel bad at all. And look, I'm willingly going, okay? So I'm glad that they, allowed me to sort of negotiate a decent bail position. And what an asshole. When I called on the phone, I said, what should I do? Go talk to him. What should I do? Well, just go talk to them. I'm sure if you just talk to them, they'll be all right. But everything that I know tells me not to do that. You're supposed to stay mum's the word. The ACLU, you have a right to remain silent. And then Pickerel, he just stayed inside the house, and that was genius. So if I would have just stayed inside the house, they would have walked around it. The dogs would have barked at him a couple times. Would they have broken in? Would they have, They didn't have an arrest warrant. They didn't have a search warrant. Some fucking asshole just said some words. And now, my life is going to get turned upside fucking down. All that labor, all that work, all that shit. Worrying about planning and zoning. Hurry up. I got to progress. I got to, build another thing. I got to keep progressing.
You're probably going to have to go on mine. I'm leaving all out there.
Oh, I'm also tall, too. I'm taller than them, right? So, if you're an insecure man, well, I just arrested the tall guy. I feel big now. This is the crazy guy. This is the guy that's got issues. No, you guys got fucking issues. My only mistake was living in Costilla County. My only mistake was picking this fucking place to live in. I did everything right. In terms of the law, in terms of morality, in terms of treating others the way I want to be treated. I worked so fucking hard on this. Look at this. Look, this is a desert wasteland. And look, I got myself a fucking gate. I'm adding class to the thing. I'm adding value. I'm upping the property rates. Your property value goes up because you had a John Masters living in your neighborhood. He's got a nice gate. He's built himself a decent house. My God, he's transforming this neighborhood. He's going to make this neighborhood into something great. We want John Masters out here. Nah, they just want a bunch of fucking Nazi fucks. A bunch of criminal fucks. That's what they want. People who break planning and zoning and then goddamn... And then they're going to leave my gate open too. They said that they were going to do patrols later on in the night, see if anybody did anything. I want to say Schultz did it maybe once or twice, which gives me some comfort, but they didn't protect me the whole time I was there. And then I wonder how the place looks now. When I was there, the entire garage part had fallen down. The entire garage, the wind had blown the garage part down. So I wasn't there to put the support beams up. I wasn't there. Every time it would rain, I would sweep the roof off to make sure the water wouldn't settle on top of the roof. I still had, the rest of my house to build. All these motherfuckers get to live in safe houses. They get police protection and court protection. But because I'm the new guy in town, and why am I the new guy in town? Well, I had issues with my fucking parents. They want to abuse. But because I've had a tumultuous life, and I got tired of renting, I said, well, shit, I'm going to buy some land and I'm going to build a house, because I'm tired of just pissing money away for rent, when you could probably build yourself a nice, quiet little efficient home for the same amount of money. Rent is what, $500,000 a month? $12,000 a year? You could build a nice little decent house for $12,000 bucks. But instead I'm just giving this other asshole fucking rent money so he could, pay his mortgage and buy his cocaine and go to the whorehouse or whatever the hell he does with the $12,000. There's a major housing shortage in America. That's one thing about Kamala, is that she was going to work on the housing shortage. And then that's it. That's Schultz. So we have 5 more videos to check.